So the 450 class at Birmingham, which was about almost 2 weeks ago, I had to get the 450 out of the way, but still, that was a good race. And remember, guys, subscribe if you think that I'm worth listening to. Hope to have a game up later this week, but I'll definitely have one up next week, of course. But in the meantime, let's get into this. Hunter Lawrence wins again. Long night for Eli Tomac. Jorge Prado deserves praise for nailing quad after practice crash. Now, I'm going to get that one out of the way first. As far as Jorge Prado is concerned, I saw that crash that he took in practice on Instagram when he went for that quad in the rhythm section. And for him to come right out and do that, that's proof that that guy's got a future in this sport. And I hope that he can possibly win a race. I mean, he's got to get a good start. I mean, he seems like he's good at that. He reminds me a lot of John Dowd when he was at KTM and was getting hole shots left, right, and center around 01, 02. But still, for someone like Jorge Prado, that looks like the Jorge Prado of old. And maybe, just maybe, if the circumstances are right, he'll be in the winner's circle before Supercross is over. At least I wouldn't put it past him anyway. He's already got a podium. That was at Anaheim 1. But it seems to me like he has to get a good start and be able to hold his position and move over on the track wisely, kind of like how McGrath did for so long through the years. Because I can remember in 2000 when he was battling with David Villemin, McGrath I'm talking about, he was able to move over on the track and kind of block him off and make him try to pass him somewhere else. And if Jorge Prado does the same thing, I think that we'll see him in the winner's circle in the near future. So hopefully that will happen. So second thing is the long night for Eli Tomac. I saw that incident between himself and Justin Cooper in the heat race. And to be honest, I think that was kind of ill-advised on Eli Tomac's behalf, especially because he had to know that Jay Coop was not going to leave the door open for him and let him pass through. You know, kind of like when you're driving on the road and you just let somebody lane change in front of you because you know that's what they want to do. They want to get in the same lane that you're in. And sometimes you'll be courteous and let them do that. But as far as racing is concerned, that has to be a situation where letting it by is the only thing you can do. And as far as what I can tell, Eli Tomac did not make a wise move. And, I mean, you can't blame him for wanting to pass him, but, you know, I don't think I would have done that. I didn't think that was a good idea, what he did, because he had to know that Jay Coop was going to cut down. And if I was Tomac, I would have just backed off and tried to pass him somewhere else, like the rhythm section or maybe even one of the split lanes. Now, for Jay Coop, he was really, really lucky to walk away just sore from that, because I can remember Daytona 07 when Mike Alessi had dragged someone by their calf, with the calf being stuck under the swing arm of his KTM in the heat race. And that pretty much ended the guy's night. I don't know who that was, but still, for Jay Coop to escape with minimal injury, wow, you deserve a round of applause, man, because any other mere mortal, that would have ended their night, not Justin Cooper. But still, he fell victim to another rider's misfortune, and that's and if you're in the Jay Coop camp, that's unfortunate for sure, and kind of proves why that on the other side of things, if on the other side of the coin, you know, I've been talking about how Justin Cooper reminds me a lot of Jimmy Button. He's fast, but he always seems to make these kind of dumb moves, or not dumb moves, but kind of makes bad decisions. Because I can remember when Button was under the Chaparral Yamaha team with McGrath, and he was fast, but he was always making mistakes and ending up on his head, you know. But in that situation, I don't think Justin Cooper is to blame at all. He was trying to hold his position, and you can't fault that. But to be honest, if J. Coop can avoid these silly mistakes from other people, I think we'll find him in the winner's circle and not just in a Triple Crown race. And like I said before, that's why I think the Triple Crown races, the Triple Crown main events, have to count for something in the record books. And that's maybe 50% of the reason why I don't like the Triple Crown format. Because as far as the other main events are concerned, they don't show up in the record books. And fortunately, if you're Justin Brayton, who won the Daytona Supercross in 2018, lucky thing he did, because we all know in our hearts that Justin Brayton has 2 main event wins, but the record books will show he only has 1. And it's a good thing he did. And if Justin Cooper hangs up the boots without that main event win, but we know he won a Triple Crown main event, that is really going to be a hot topic of discussion in the near future. So for Hunter Lawrence to win again, good on him. I think he's put a stranglehold on this championship. Of course, I haven't seen the Detroit race yet because I was out at Hawaii softball, and I've yet to do my recap there, but I will do that soon. So, which is why I'm going to try to keep this short. So good on Hunter Lawrence. I do think that he is coming into his own, and he finally erased that streak of leading the points without getting a win on the track. Because if you're a Supercross racer and you win a title without winning a race, that's good on you, but there's going to be an empty feeling for sure because you didn't win a race. Same goes kind of like what happened with Tim Ferry when he won the 125 East in 97. He didn't win a race. And what was his reward? Because of a rule change, he was kicked out of the 125 class and forced to ride the 250 class for the rest of his career, which I thought was a complete miscarriage of justice for sure. But that's another story. So Hunter Lawrence winning, I don't know if there's any chink in his armor for sure, because the way that he's riding like he's getting a lot of help from, like he's been watching Jet win so many times on the TV, and he's kind of picking up on the things that he does. You know, you can look at it that way. And I do think that Hunter, it's going to take a real disaster for him to lose this championship, but, you know, anything is possible. And he's got to be on his heels when he goes to Detroit and also finishes out the rest of the season. So hopefully Hunter will go back-to-back for the first time for Honda, for the first time since Ricky Carmichael from 02 to 03. That was the last time Honda won back-to-back titles. Make no mistake. Or go back-to-back since the McGrath days, when McGrath won 4 in a row from 93 to 96. So we'll see what happens with Hunter Lawrence, and that's where I'll leave it. So anyway, guys, that's all for today. I thought I'd keep it short. So thanks, guys. Subscribe. I'll see you off in my recap of UH softball next.